All right, let's dive into this Week 6 matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the Atlanta Falcons. On paper, it's just another game. But when you really look at it, this was a tale of two very different offenses, two quarterbacks under completely different kinds of pressure. And it all came down to just a handful of massive, game-changing plays. And this quote right here, it just perfectly captures the vibe around the Falcons heading into this one. This game wasn't just about getting a win. For them, it was about proving they actually belong in the same conversation as the AFC's elite. The big question hanging over them was, are these guys for real? Well, Atlanta didn't waste any time answering that question. Right from the jump, their offense, which is just packed with this incredible young talent, came out absolutely on fire. They immediately put a very good Bills defense back on its heels. And the key to all that early success was the connection between quarterback Michael Pennix Jr. and his number one guy, Drake London. It felt like Pennix was looking for him on every single play, moving the chains on first down, keeping drives alive on those crucial third downs, and then the payoff, a perfect touchdown pass to grab the lead. It was just a masterclass in offensive rhythm. But for all the great stuff they were doing through the air, Atlanta's loudest statement of the day actually came from the backfield. It was one single unbelievable play that just completely changed the feel of the entire game. 81 yards. That's not a typo. That's how far running back Bijan Robinson took it to the house on one carry. He got the handoff, saw just a tiny sliver of daylight, and then, boom, he was gone. It was just a jaw-dropping display of vision and, oh my gosh, that pure explosive speed. And this call from the broadcast booth tells you exactly why that run worked so well. See, it wasn't just Bijan being an amazing talent. It was the offensive line executing that zone blocking scheme to perfection. Everyone moves together, like a wave, to create a lane wherever it opens up. It was just a thing of beauty, a perfectly designed and executed team play. Of course, you knew the Bills weren't just going to lie down, not with a superstar like Josh Allen at quarterback. He spent the entire game fighting and clawing to keep his team in it, usually with what felt like the entire Falcons defense breathing down his neck. And this touchdown to Dawson Knox is a perfect example of Josh Allen's genius. I mean, look at this. He uses a simple little pump fake to mess with a safety, Jesse Bates. Bates totally bites on it, he drives down, and that leaves this massive space wide open right behind him. Allen sees it, steps up, and delivers a perfect ball for the score. That's just next-level quarterbacking. But really, when you zoom out, the whole game kind of boils down to the two different worlds these quarterbacks were living in. On one side, you had Michael Pennix Jr. just standing tall in a clean pocket, calmly picking the defense apart. And on the other, you've got Josh Allen basically living through a hurricane, constantly scrambling for his life, and that pressure led to sacks and eventually some huge mistakes. So all of this set the stage for a really tense fourth quarter where the game was literally hanging in the balance. And it all came down to this wild sequence of back-to-back plays that just completely flipped the script. So the Bills' defense gets a stop, forces a punt, and suddenly all the momentum is it's sitting right there for the taking. The ball is back in Josh Allen's hands, and you're thinking, okay, this is it. This is the moment Buffalo finally takes control of this game. And they get a huge boost from their special teams. The Bills come flying through the line and block a Falcons field goal. It was a massive play that gave their offense incredible field position and a jolt of pure energy. You could feel the tide turning. But that's the thing about football, right? As quickly as they grabbed that momentum, they gave it all away. On the very next drive, they try a little trick play, an end around, and there's a fumbled handoff. Just a simple, unforced error that completely killed the drive and sucked all the life out of their sideline. Momentum gone. So this is what it all comes down to. One last drive for the Bills. They're down late, but the ball is in their superstars' hands. This is their chance to go win the game on the road. But it just wasn't meant to be. The pressure gets to Allen one last time. He tries to force a throw, the ball gets tipped at the line of scrimmage, it hangs in the air forever, and it's picked off. Just a heartbreaking, game-clinching turnover that sealed the deal for Atlanta. So, after all that back and forth, what's the big takeaway here? What does this game really tell us about where both of these teams are headed for the rest of the season? Well, when you look at the stats, the story becomes pretty clear, doesn't it? Atlanta's stars showed up in a big way. Drake London and Bijan Robinson just had dominant games. And on the other side, while Josh Allen made some incredible plays,
His night was defined by those two critical, game-changing interceptions. It really came down to which team's stars could execute when it mattered most.
And that brings us all the way back to where we started. Remember that question about relevance? Well, by beating one of the best teams in the AFC, the Falcons didn't just win a football game. They answered that question with a giant exclamation point. They proved they matter. The only question now is, how much of a problem are they going to be for everybody else?